I'm going to settle once and for all if manual indexing works for the Google indexing issues. Some have reported it does work.
Request indexing tool in Google Search Console. It's easy and it works.
I manually index 10 per day. Maybe 7 or 8 of them will stick.
Requesting a manual index. This is something I've done from my side and I saw some good success with it.
Others have reported it doesn't work.
I have been going into Search Console and manually indexing articles for months, and nothing happens.
But first, some basic stuff out of the way.
Let's make sure that your WordPress settings are correct. The standard setting is of course that this box is not ticked.
Done that?
Another great thing to do, and that is upload your sitemap.
That is done as well.
Make sure that we're creating high quality content that's the type of content that Google wants to index.
Even though that sounds reasonable, it doesn't really make sense to me that Google would have an idea of what value is. Google is an algorithm. Algorithms are math, and math doesn't make value judgments. So it of course makes perfect sense for where the article ranks and how much time a user would spend and how well the article will convert and all that sort of stuff. I get that. High quality is always better. But for indexing issues, it doesn't really make sense. You could rank or you can get indexed gibberish. And as long as the words are placed correctly, I'm actually going to test this. But so in my mind, high quality or low quality is not an issue with indexing. And these are 1200, 1500, 2000 word articles. And English is not my first language, so you might be able to pick up that some of the wording is a bit off, but this is not low quality. It simply isn't.
Make sure that your server can handle a reasonable number of requests in a timely way.
I'm on Bluehost with about 40 to 50 articles and with GeneratePress as a basic theme with basically no plugins. So I think we're good on that as well.
Here's what I think does work though. Just waiting. I hate the answer myself. I am so frustrated.
Most of these articles are from January, so they are 11, almost 12 months old now. SEMrush has put up a video where the presenter shows that if you just put an article on the site and you manual index it, he can go straight back to the SERP and see that article indexed. That irritates me a little bit, and it actually seems a bit arrogant because maybe he's able to do that on his site, but on my new site that definitely doesn't work. I'm going to check every single article if it's in the index or not, and I go through the complete list here. After that, I'm going to manually index as many as I'm allowed to. If you look at the list here, and if you look closely, you can see the 2 top articles are from a different site. The rest of them are for a smaller site with about 40 to 50 articles in. And this seems to have worked with 1 article. The rest of the articles here are sort of a blind control, and this is what you do in scientific studies. You have a test group where you do something to them, and you have a blind control group where you don't do anything. So for those who have reported that manually indexing seems to work, there is no video I've seen shows a blind test group. So we cannot for certain say that these articles wouldn't have been indexed otherwise. And this is actually what I've seen. I have an old site that is about 12 years old now. It has a ton of authority, and when I post an article to that site, it is pretty much indexed within 24 hours, as the SEM Rush guy showed. I've actually tested this, so I put on a new article and I went back to find one of the old articles and I linked to that new article. And instead of manually indexing the new article, I actually re-indexed the old article with the new link in it. And that got the new article to rank within 24 hours. So there's definitely something else going on here. And this might be the explanation why these guys seems to have manually indexing work for them. I'm guessing that these sites have something else going for them. Unless they show us a blind control group where some articles that are not manually indexed are not getting picked up, and the articles that are manually indexed are getting picked up, then we cannot know for sure if these sites have something else going for them. My point is, I think they would have been picked up anyways. And you can come at my data from multiple different angles. So you can say that I maybe haven't done enough interlinking, or you can argue that Bluehost isn't a fast enough server for 40 to 50 articles. I think it would be, but you could argue it maybe isn't. You can argue maybe GeneratePress isn't a fast enough theme, but it is in the top 10 if you're looking for fast themes. So, but you can argue that there may be something else going on here. But that actually underscores my point, because it shows that there's something else going on. So maybe it's a good idea to do manually indexing 1, 2, 3 times if you have everything else going for your site. And that might be a good use of your time. But if you've done it at, let's say, 3 times and your articles are not getting picked up, I wouldn't recommend continually using time doing the manual index, because it's most likely not going to work unless you're fixing what else is causing the issue. But I'm going to do more testing on this site until I find something that actually works consistently and is not just random luck. If you look closely at my spreadsheet, you can see there's something else I've done to a couple of articles, and that is going to be a test going forward. So keep an eye out for that video. See you next time.